Now on CoastTV News.
Excessive heat warnings for most of Delmarva as the heat continues. A yellow alert for the heat, then a red alert Wednesday for heat and possible severe weather. I'll break down the heat and storm threat coming up.
Relief from the heat. That's what those people on your screen and others are attempting to do today. We break down this hot stretch of summer weather hitting us.
A Milford policy table. That was the call at a Board of Education meeting last night as we learn more about the reason officials there were pushing for action opposed by the ACLU.
Murray in Milwaukee, the role the Delaware Party chair has at the Republican National Convention.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Paige Marley. It's Tuesday, July 16th, 2024.
Yeah, we've been talking about the heat all morning, Paige, and you asked the question during the break, hey, is it going to be safe to go to the beach? Probably a decent place to go, but I think on days like this, the sand and wearing something on your feet as you make your way to where you're putting your umbrella, that's going to be key.
That is. You know what I recommend? Crocs. In sports mode.
In sports mode.
In sports, because it covers the top of your feet, too.
You're right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
That's a good call.
That's just what I'm thinking. So try that out. The flops, you know, the top of your feet can still get burned. So, but who knows better than First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihe. Bob, you said it's still safe to go to the beach today. Just take some precautions.
Take some precautions. Make sure you have covering for your feet, guys. It's going to be hot in the sand, in the air, all the above. Yeah, maybe the hottest day of the year. Excessive heat warning through Wednesday evening for interior areas of Delaware, Sussex County, right along the immediate coast. That's where we have a heat advisory. You could still see triple-digit heat index values later today. And then into Maryland, Salisbury to Ocean Pines and Ironshire, we are looking at a heat advisory, excluding the immediate coast. There may be slightly cooler near Ocean City. And then the Eastern Shore is under an excessive heat warning. Already 80 from Seaford to Millsboro, 80 Indian River Inlet, 81 in Bethany Beach. And winds are very light. The winds are going to be, it's going to be like a blowtorch today as we're looking at clear skies across Delmarva. And it's going to be a quiet day, just sizzling heat as temperatures quickly rise to the 80s. By 9 a.m., we're already in the mid to upper 80s, and by noon into the low to mid 90s, even 90s showing up at the beaches. And then by 4 o'clock, maybe 92 in Bethany Beach, 99 in Lewis, and well into the 90s inland. And then this evening, it's a scorcher, slowly falling from the 90s into the 80s. Feels like temperatures maybe as high as 110 inland areas and even triple digits at the beaches. So be careful in the sun as well. UV index is at 10 today. Burn time is 10 minutes, so use extra caution. Very high range with the UV meter, except for Saturday, where it does drop a little bit. So make sure you have the sunscreen, the midday shade. You want to find that. Limit your time outdoors and avoid the sun late morning into early afternoon.
Follow up on what Bob's talking about. We and more than 100 million people are under heat alerts across the U.S. The Weather Prediction Center forecasts near record temperatures and high humidity for parts of the east today. Baltimore feels like temperatures there that could reach up to 112 degrees. Houston could see triple-digit heat, and many people there have been without air conditioning for nearly a week.
Now, with all that heat, people are flocking to the beaches in an effort to stay cool, and that includes Ocean City. It's not all fun and sun, though, for, of course, the first responders who have to work through that heat. The sergeant of the Ocean City Beach Patrol supplies all the Ocean City lifeguards with water, making sure they're hydrated so they can do their jobs effectively, something especially important in the middle of this heat wave.
We have had some heat-related emergencies, and usually that is because of lack of hydration. So, you know, when you're coming to the beach, you want to make sure that you're hydrated before you get to the beach, you know, and while you're here.
And the heat wave is expected to last until Wednesday, when the weather will hopefully cool down just some.
Our focus here at the start of this hour is the potential of all of us experiencing the hottest day on the calendar year. So we wanted to know about some of the hottest days ever recorded for our area. We went to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and here is what we found. Almost a year to the date, very interesting. July 21st, 1930, Millsboro experienced a 110-degree day. That is the Delaware state record. And that same day, the record for Salisbury was set at 106 degrees. Hottest day ever in Lewis, 102. That was back on June 21st, 1997.
And with the scorching temps, of course, it's important to take care of yourself. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water today. Stay out of the sun and seek air conditioning or go to cooling centers. Also very important, check on your relatives and your neighbors, especially if they're older. Be sure not to leave children and pets in unattended cars.
This morning, a new development in the case of Tyler Mailloux. Remember, that is the man allegedly involved in a hit and run that killed Worcester County teen Gavin Knupp in 2022. And on Monday, Mailloux and prosecutors were in Worcester County Circuit Court. Now, this comes after the Maryland Supreme Court upheld an order by the appellate courts in June, and that order stated that the case must be tried in Worcester County Circuit. The case was originally dismissed after a judge stated it should be tried in district court.
A controversial policy at the Milford School District's been tabled indefinitely after a meeting Monday night. According to the school board, policy 6103 aimed to keep classrooms free of things that could create an offensive, hostile, or intimidating learning environment. But the ACLU Delaware, along with the grand majority of the people who spoke at that meeting, say that violates First Amendment rights of students and staff. Board member Dr. Adam Brownstein said the plan does not censor speech. The ACLU was concerned, at least in part, with the vague language and how rules could be interpreted differently by different administrations. And here's another take.
In this country, we enjoy freedom of speech, but with that freedom comes responsibility. And in today's environment and social media, people are posting things that a person with common sense and maturity would say, this doesn't need to be shared publicly.
So the genesis of all this, as we learned from Dr. Brownstein, was an incident involving a Jewish student in the aftermath of the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. A perceived pro-Palestinian image was shown somewhere, and then that in part started all of this dialogue.
Happening today, finance is going to be a focal point in Lewis. Officials will get together to talk about existing money sources and even future ones. Also on the Finance Committee agenda, a review of city investments and the fiscal year budget.
Happening today, the resumption of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Yesterday, Donald Trump became the party's nominee, and also yesterday, some Sussex County representation. Julianne Murray offering the rules resolution. Murray, who lives in Seaford, is the Delaware Republican Party chair. She also was the person who pledged all the state's 16 delegates for Donald Trump.
The attempted assassination of former President Trump has got people on Delmarva calling for unity now. People gathered at a prayer vigil at the Veterans Memorial in Ocean Pines on Monday. Some who we spoke with, they have fear the current events might worsen the country's political divide.
Doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican. We need to get this country back to the Judeo-Christian values that it was built on.
Seeing how things have been over the past 4 or 5 years, I don't believe this is going to change the great, vast political divide that we're living in right now.
Organizers wanted the vigil to show this weekend's events that it can bring our nation closer together.
And as we just mentioned, it is official. Delegates have weighed in, and former President Trump is the GOP nominee for president once again. This all happened during the first day of the Republican National Convention there in Milwaukee.
The day kicked off with the announcement that Ohio Senator J.D. Vance will be Trump's running mate, and NBC's Bree Jackson shows us how President Biden and fellow Americans are responding to having a full picture of the ballot come November.
J.D.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance receiving a warm welcome at the Republican National Convention after being named former President Trump's 2024 running mate. The 39-year-old says he brings loyalty to the ticket.
The president can't be everywhere. Even Donald Trump can't be everywhere. So you've got to be a person he can trust, he can rely on to actually advance the agenda.
The first-term senator was a Trump critic in 2016, but since then he's changed his position and has been by the former president's side for court cases and campaign events. Vance's addition to the Republican ticket comes just 2 days after a gunman fired at Trump, injuring his ear.
My first reaction was just to pray for him. I was terrified.
Former President Trump surprising the crowds at the convention and making his first public appearance since the assassination attempt. On the same day Trump officially secured the GOP nomination, President Biden sat down with NBC's Lester Holt, calling it a mistake to have used the term bullseye when discussing his political opponent.
I mean, focus on him. Focus on what he's doing. Focus on his policies.
President Biden also weighing in on Trump's VP pick.
A clone of Trump on the issue, so I don't see any difference.
All these walls have got to go! Protesters outside the Republican National Convention are speaking out against the GOP's agenda. Americans remain divided over issues like abortion and the country's future. With Vance's name added to the GOP ticket, voters now have a clearer picture of their choices this November. In Milwaukee, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
We're just getting started this hour of Coast TV News today.
Coming up, bombs on the beach, washed up, World War II explosives, sparking up a conversation about safety at Assateague Island, and we'll show you why the park superintendent there is taking precaution, even though he says the risk is very low.
Also ahead, cozying up at a cooling center. That's what you may want to do today as the high heat hits Delmarva. We're showing you how to find the closest locations in your area.
And rent recommendation, the plans to put a federal cap on rent prices that would need to be approved by Congress first. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Accurate termite and pest control. Our professional pest management program includes year-round protection, 4 seasonal visits or more, and pest-free peace of mind. Locally owned and operated, Accurate Termite and Pest Control, on target since 1995.
Rules don't apply when it comes to designing your home or business's interior. At Mood Design Studio, we break away from typical design norms to craft one-of-a-kind spaces that belong on the pages of a magazine. Choose from a bold selection of exclusive wallpaper designs and fabrics, plus a curated selection of furniture, making any room a showstopper. Need guidance? We'll assist you in planning your space's scope and budget for a streamlined, stress-free experience. For a complimentary consultation, visit Mood Design Studio in Lewis today.
Your getaway starts where it all began, Pennsylvania. A place with 1,000 experiences that'll have you coming back for seconds. And they're just down the road. See the Big Bell right beside bigger battlefields? Go around the next bend and you'll find world-class cuisine, Great Lakes, and Grand Canyons. Small towns with big reputations and whitewater right next to calming waters. Come visit Pennsylvania, the great American getaway.
Come to Out in the Light, where your treasure awaits.
Nestled in the heart of America's coolest small town, Out in Delights is not just your average gift shop, but where you can go for extraordinary finds, carrying items such as nautical decor, vintage vinyl, jewelry, holiday decor year-round, souvenirs, and toys. Don't forget to add a little fun to your shopping by checking out Zoltar or our penny crushing machine. Find what delights you at Out in Delights on Main Street in Berlin, across the street from the Mermaid Museum.
Accurate Termite and Pest Control. A new season is coming and so are the pests. Day one in. Trust Accurate to keep them out year-round. Locally owned and operated, Accurate Termite and Pest Control, on target since 1995.
6:14 on this very warm Tuesday morning. Dover, 81 degrees, and it's going to be a scorcher. Excessive heat warning for interior areas of Delmarva from Delaware up into the eastern shore. Right along the coast, it's a heat advisory as we're looking at temperatures already in the 70s and lower 80s and mid to upper 80s. Feels like temperatures already. So it's going to be a hot one whether you're heading to the beach, the pool, or the golf course. Personally, I'd be on the beach today instead of the golf course. Very hot, 98, but feeling like 111 at times this afternoon.
This morning, Delaware State Police will continue efforts in searching for a Milton man who they say shot a driver in the back. Now, police say the driver ran into a pole Sunday night on Cool Spring Road after being shot from another car. The 27-year-old driver is from Laurel. Is now in critical condition. Detectives say there is a warrant for the arrest of 24-year-old Tamaris Perry. And the early investigation into this shows the victim was driving on West Springside Drive when it is believed Perry fired several shots. Developing news in Lewis about a development that has the attention of Sussex County Planning and Zoning. Project is called North Star. It is planned between Route 9 and both sides of Beaver Dam Road. This is across where the Vineyards apartment complex is, and you can see that area that we're showing you on your screen. According to the proposal, the project calls for over 750 single-family homes and 96,000 square feet of commercial space. This all will be reviewed at Wednesday's meeting.
President Biden is working to set a federal cap on rent prices. He's expected to unveil the details today in Nevada, a state that's seen one of the biggest increases in housing costs nationwide. Biden's plan would eliminate a tax benefit for landlords who increase their tenants' rent more than 5% each year. Biden's plan would need to be approved by Congress before going into effect. British luxury brand Burberry is hoping a new CEO will help fix its slumping sales. In an earnings release Monday, Burberry said it'll be replacing its chief executive. This comes after another disappointing quarter in which those sales dropped more than 20%. Retail analysts pointing to a combination of softer demand for the luxury goods and the brand's direction as the reason for those struggling sales. Still ahead this morning, cozy up at a cooling center. Many people on Delmarva will be using these convenient resources today as those temperatures rise. We'll tell you why one local says the environment offers also a learning opportunity.
And we're seeing some clouds obscuring the sun in Rehoboth this morning as we're looking at temperatures in the lower 80s. It's going to be a scorcher as we have the intense heat continuing today with an excessive heat warning for most of Delmarva. Yellow alert for the heat today. Red alert Wednesday for heat and storms. Your forecast details in 2 minutes.
Take your favorite radio station with you wherever you go. Download free today.
Oh, porches. Hello, aren't you the guy I see on TV, the porch protection guy?
Yeah, I would say.
So they're made of marine grade materials that last for years?
Yeah, I would.
And they say I could use my porch all year round?
I think
so. And
so.
they keep the dirt, pollen, and rain and wind out? And the custom made right here locally?
They are.
I got to run, but it was really nice talking to you.
Well, it was nice talking to you too.
Call or visit porchprotection.com for your free quote.
The weather is brought to you by Spicer Brothers Construction. Born here to serve here. When it comes to protecting your home, don't take chances with just anyone. Trust the experts at Spicer Brothers. Join thousands of satisfied customers who've chosen us for our exceptional service, quality installation, and unbeatable warranties. Whether you need a roof replacement or just want to upgrade the look of your home, we've got you covered. And right now, save up to 20% on your new roof, plus enjoy no interest and no payments until 2026. For a roof that's done right, trust Spicer Brothers day and night, because you deserve the best.
Time is 6:19, and we are now showing you a live look at Seaford. You can see some of the hazy skies there as we're starting our Tuesday morning, and we are operating under a yellow alert date. Now, Bob, normally when you guys, first alert meteorologists, make that call, it involves rain, but it's not the case today.
Yeah, that's true, Matt. Usually a yellow alert is reserved for about a ½ inch to an inch of rain and stormy conditions. But we're using it for the heat this time. Yellow alert for excessive heat across Sussex County and really inland Delmarva today. Excessive heat warning for Kent, Salem, and Sussex counties until Wednesday evening. And then right along the immediate coast from Lewis down to Ocean View and down towards the state line, it's a heat advisory through Wednesday evening. And then into Maryland, you have a heat advisory, but, you know, it's just going to be really hot everywhere you go. So, you know, we're splitting up the advisories between the state lines, but essentially everybody's going to be roasting. Right along the coast, you don't have that heat advisory, maybe slightly cooler. And then for the eastern shore, you have an excessive heat warning through tomorrow. Already temperatures in the 70s and lower 80s, 80 in Georgetown, 80 in Millsboro, Bethany Beach, 81. And it already feels like 86 in Georgetown, 88 in Millsboro. And it's headed for the triple digits for today. Those those feels like temperatures. We do have a southwest breeze that's pretty light right now, and that'll just be pretty much a blowtorch as we go through the day. Just very hot conditions with clear skies all across Delmarva and nothing in the way of cooling as we're looking at blazing sunshine across the mid-Atlantic. There is a trough across the Midwest, stormy weather through Michigan and the Ohio Valley, and this trough eventually heads our way later tomorrow and will end our heat wave, but not today. Futurecast quickly warming up through the 80s, upper 80s by mid-morning. By noon, we're into the mid-90s, even some 90s along the coast. So even at the coast today, around 93 in Bethany Beach, 99 perhaps in Rehoboth, and well into the 90s inland as well. If you're out and about this evening, temperatures slowly falling back from the 90s into the 80s. It's going to be a stifling evening. And even into Wednesday morning, we're looking at temperatures in the lower 80s, and then we're quickly into the 90s again. Not as hot today. Tomorrow, I should say. Temperatures will be a slightly cooler by a few degrees, with temperatures into the mid-90s, some 80s at the beaches. Then we start to see showers and storms moving in during the course of the evening hours, putting an end to our heat wave with rain, heavy at times, and maybe some damaging winds. So make sure you secure those outdoor items tomorrow evening, as we will see those showers. Could linger a little bit into Thursday morning. Otherwise, we do start to dry it out and not as hot into Thursday with temperatures into the mid-80s. There is that threat for severe weather. We do have a level 1 risk farther to the south, around Millsboro, back into areas of Maryland. A lower chance of damaging winds, but a higher chance of damaging winds, I think, for the eastern shore and a little farther to the north. Here's your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. We're looking at upper 90s today, 95 Wednesday. A code red for the heat and storms later in the day, and then 85 lingering storms Thursday, 86 Friday, and then mid-80s for the weekend. Saturday dry, storms Sunday, and some of those storms linger into Monday and a high of 85.
And as Bob just explained, today it's going to be extremely hot. It is imperative you stay cool, and one way to do that in Sussex County is by utilizing the cooling centers. Libraries and offices are welcoming people in from the brutal heat. There are 4 cooling stations in Sussex County, each one providing air conditioning and free water bottles, and people trying to beat the heat at the Georgetown Library say this is also an educational opportunity as well as a chance for some time out of the sun.
I think it's wonderful that the libraries are serving as cooling stations, one, to provide that cooling service to the public, but also to get people back into the libraries. You know, so many people are focused on getting their books through private sources. I think it's wonderful to get people, especially kids, back into libraries and really appreciating all that a library has to offer.
Complete list of cooling stations and other tips to stay safe on our website, CoastTVnews.com.
Coming up on Coast TV News today, bombs on the beach. What the park superintendent saying about maintaining safety around washed up World War II material, even though the risk is low. We'll be right back.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism. Somewhere to smile about.
Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with my Bionic Blade, the new handheld blender that's rechargeable, so you can make a fast, healthy shake anywhere. It has the motor and blades built right into the lid, so blend a shake at the gym, make pina coladas by poolside, or grind coffee beans for an iced cold brew on the go.
Get the Bionic Blade for just $29.99 with free shipping. You'll also get 2 sipping lids, a second container, and the sports lid. Get it all for just $29.99. Order now.
Help put a smile on someone's face at the Eastern Shore Mission of Mercy, a free 2-day adult dental clinic on September 13th and 14th at the Wicomico County Civic Center in Salisbury. There are so many volunteer opportunities that require no medical background to support community members in need. For more information about the Mission of Mercy or to register to volunteer, visit easternshoremom.org.
In our coastal communities, every wave has a tale. Coast TV brings these stories home, from the smallest shell in Ocean City to the lighthouse in Lewis. What happens here matters. Every moment, every detail is a chapter in our shared story. We're your neighbors, your friends, woven into the very sands of our community. Our stories are your stories, reflecting the heart and soul of our coastal life. Coast TV, our community, your news, where every story hits close to home.
Your getaway starts where it all began, Pennsylvania. A place with 1,000 experiences that'll have you coming back for seconds. And they're just down the road. See the big bell right beside bigger battlefields? Go around the next bend and you'll find world-class cuisine, Great Lakes and Grand Canyons. Small towns with big reputations and whitewater right next to calming waters. Come visit Pennsylvania, the great American getaway.
A bit of history has been washing ashore the beaches of Assateague lately. In recent weeks, folks have been finding World War II fragments. These are remnants of unexploded bombs and even missiles in the sand. So we're going to show you a look at this. That's the Dover Bomb Squad exploding one of those old explosives. It's all part of a procedure that park staff takes each time someone finds one of these potentially unexploded bombs. Park Superintendent Hugh Hawthorne says though the risk is low, they still take extreme precaution.
There's a potential danger. It's not a high danger. It's 99% sure that they're not dangerous at all, but 99% is not 100%. And when we deal with what we call UXOs, unexploded ordnances, we have to be 100% sure before we treat it as something other than a UXO.
Well, Assateague was once used by the U.S. Navy as a missile testing site from 1945 to the early 1950s. Some scrap that's buried in pits is what's been washing ashore.
And First Alert meteorologist Bob Try, he's back with us. It looks like if you were hoping for that cool ocean or bay breeze today, it might not be the day for it.
Well, maybe a little bit. You know, the water temperatures are coming up too. You have to realize that we're in the 70s as far as the water temps go. So it will cool you off a little bit. Now, Chincoteague and Assateague, you're not going to be roasting like the rest of Delmarva. Mid-80s for you in Chincoteague and mid-80s for you later in Assateague. And that might be the cool spot, so to speak. Farther up the coast, Fenwick Island, upper 80s for you, close to 90. Ocean City, yeah, it's going to be hot. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, but not as hot as inland areas. Look at Cambridge the next 3 days. Upper 90s today, but storms as we go into Wednesday and lingering into Thursday. But we cool from 95 to 85 there at Crisfield, 92 today, and then cooling down with time. Stormy Wednesday into Thursday. So at least the heat wave is over after Wednesday, and the weekend is not looking too bad. I'll have much more in that forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you. Also coming up after the break, an attempted assassination update. We have new details about the shooter after investigators combed through his phone and spoke with those closest to him.
We recap the interview with President Biden Monday night, including what he says about confidence in his campaign and the Secret Service.
And high heat on Delmarva, how to find the closest cooling places and what to do to keep you and your loved ones safe during this heat wave. CoastTV News Today will be right back.
The big Delaware Marine Trades Association Boat Show, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Hudson Fields in Milton. Multiple dealerships, bargain prices, runabouts, fishing boats, pontoons, and more on Route 1 in Milton, Delaware.
Turn your dreams of a perfect kitchen into reality with That Cabinet Store, where a dedicated team of designers will bring your vision to life. Whether it's traditional or European, kitchen design is our specialty. And we can get your fully customized kitchen cabinets installed in as little as 4 weeks, semi-custom in 10 days. And if you're looking for new countertops, we offer quality in-house fabricated countertops. Dream today, designs for tomorrow at That Cabinet Store, located with Matt the Carpet Guy in Selbyville and Salisbury.
Here at the Delmarva Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division, such as myself in countertops, to not only ensure you get the best product to fit your needs, but that your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your project.
When I came into the Delmarva Design Center and see that big collection of slabs, that makes really the decision seamless.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
We were thinking about doing this garage to get the dust and everything off the floor. We decided to call Pinnacle Concrete Coating. He gave us a color option. There must have been 12 or 14 different colors to choose from. Everything they said they were going to do, they did perfect. And they worked, man, I tell you what, those guys worked so doggone, they said they could do it in 8 hours, and they did it in 8 hours. This is not a garage no more, it's a room for my vehicle. That's what I love about it. Call up Pinnacle, and I guarantee you'll be happy.
The big Delaware Marine Trades Association Boat Show, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Hudson Fields in Milton. Multiple dealerships, bargain prices, runabouts, fishing boats, pontoons, and more on Route 1 in Milton, Delaware.
Now on Coast TV News.
Excessive heat warnings for most of Delmarva as the heat continues. A yellow alert for the heat, then a red alert Wednesday for heat and possible severe weather. I'll break down the heat and storm threat coming up.
Feel that heat. Following up from Bob, we break down this hot and humid stretch we are experiencing this week.
I feel safe with the Secret Service, but look, and you saw what we did see was the Secret Service who responded risked their lives in responding.
That was President Biden during last night's interview with Lester Holt. We have more on that and the future of his candidacy.
Cash for the Chesapeake, where a new round of money is being targeted in the effort to improve the Bay's watershed.
This is Coast TV News Today.
July 16th, 2024. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Paige.
Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Paige Marley.
Yeah, time is 6:30. Paige, I feel like we've been saying this every half hour. We've been saying it for several days.
Yes.
It's hot. It's going to be hot today. How many different ways can we say that?
Caliente? Is that hot?
That's not fair.
I don't know what else, though. French? I don't know.
Yeah. You had me. You're bilingual already.
No,
so
I'm not.
You're better than I am.
I'm trying to be bilingual,
Yeah.
but Bob,
El Hato?
El
No,
Hato's
that's not one.
Not right.
No.
Well, maybe in another language we don't know about. Okay. But Bob, do you know any other ways to say it's hot today?
Say mucho caliente. I better watch it with my Espanol because then they'll have me doing weather on Telemundo. So I'll say my Spanish is limited. Mucho caliente. Yeah, hot stuff today. Excessive heat warning inland areas as we go through today and through tomorrow. This goes until 8 o'clock Wednesday. Inland areas of Sussex County and back to the eastern shore and right along the immediate coast. It's a heat advisory as we go through today and into tomorrow. Not as hot along the immediate coast, but inland very hot. Heat advisory around Salisbury and then very hot as well up into the eastern shore where we have an excessive heat warning there. So basically everybody's hot, especially away from the coast. 70s and 80s, so we're already started today very warm. It feels like temperatures well into the 80s. There's a bit of a southwest breeze. That's not going to really give you any relief today as we're looking at lots of sunshine as we go through the day. Blazing sunshine and temperatures quickly rising through the 80s, and by 11:30 already a lot of us into the 90s, even along the coast as well by 2 o'clock, around 99 in Lewis, mid to upper 90s inland. Feels like temperatures around 105 to 110, even some triple digit feels like temperatures along the beaches. So I know this is not our first rodeo with the heat, but take breaks in the heat, find AC, check on your elderly neighbors, make sure they have a cool place dressed for summer, have water on hand, have a cold beverage, the higher SPF sunscreen, and of course the sunglasses as well.
Thank you so much. We are going to continue talking about this heat because if you haven't heard, it's hot. So today would be a good day to get to the beach. But for some people, keeping everyone safe once they get there, it is a full-time job.
It certainly is. And Coast TV news reporter Kevin Zapay shows us how first responders are battling these very high temps.
People along the beach make sure to stay cool during another hot day in Ocean City. And Brett Weingard, the sergeant of the Ocean City Beach Patrol, says no one has had a heat stroke yet, but it's been a problem.
We have had some heat-related emergencies, and usually that is because of lack of hydration. So, when you're coming to the beach, you want to make sure that you're hydrated before you get to the beach, and while you're here.
Weingard supplies all of the Ocean City lifeguards with water to make sure they're hydrated and watching the beach closely. But these lifeguards aren't the only people keeping locals and vacationers safe in this heat. The Ocean City Fire Department is too. Firefighters have to throw on their already heavy gear and deal with emergencies that can be extremely hot. So the Ocean City Fire Department has created a mechanism to cool them down after a call. They have a fan that supplies mist to the firefighters while they sit in a cooling chair, which allows them to put their arms in ice to cool them down fast.
We also use that for the public. If folks on the beach, if we get a large number of patients that are experiencing heat exhaustion or heat stroke, we can help cool them down with the cooling chairs. We have enough of them, and even our misting fans as well.
The heat wave is expected to last until Wednesday, where the weather is looking to hopefully cool down. I'm Kevin Zapay in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
Now, we could be experiencing the hottest day of the calendar year, so we did want to know some more about the hottest days ever recorded for our area. So to do this, we went to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Here's some of what we found. Almost a year to the day, July 21st in 1930, Millsboro experienced a 110-degree day. That is the Delaware state record. That same day, the record for Salisbury was set at 106 degrees. The hottest day ever in Lewis, that was 102 degrees on June 21st. That was in 1997.
And with the scorching temps, it is important to take care of yourself. Now, some of what we're going to talk about here may seem basic, but a reminder can always be helpful. First, make sure to drink plenty of water. Also, stay out of the sun and seek air conditioning or visit cooling centers. It's also important to check in on relatives and neighbors and be sure to not leave children and pets in unattended cars.
Do you maybe fish striped bass? Well, a reminder for you from the Maryland Department of Natural Resources. You got to be careful here. Striped bass fishing not allowed in the Chesapeake Bay from July 16th through July 31st. The department says this closure is necessary to protect the species because when water and air temperatures rise in the hottest parts of summer, those fish are more vulnerable to dying after being caught and released.
This morning, a development in the case of Tyler Mailloux. You remember that is the man accused of in a car crash. It was a hit-and-run situation in Worcester County that killed teen Gavin Knupp in 2022. Monday, Mailloux and prosecutors gathered for a hearing in the Worcester County Circuit Court. And this comes after the Maryland Supreme Court upheld an order by the appellate courts in June. The order stated that the case must be tried in Worcester County Circuit. The case was originally dismissed after a judge stated it should be tried in district court.
Happening today, finance will be front and center in Lewis. Officials there will be getting together to talk about existing money sources and even future ones. Also on the agenda, a review of city investments and the fiscal year budget.
In case you missed it Monday night on CoastTV, President Joe Biden sat down with Lester Holt for a one-on-one, unedited interview. The president defended his decision to remain in the presidential race. The interview, it did touch on a range of subjects, from his confidence in the Secret Service to the dismissal of charges against former President Trump in his classified documents case.
I'm not surprised. It comes from the immunity decision the Supreme Court ruled on, and Clarence Thomas, in his dissent, said that independent prosecutors appointed by the Attorney General aren't legit. That's the basis on which this judge moved to dismiss. I feel safe with the Secret Service, but look, and you saw what we did see was the Secret Service who responded risked their lives in responding.
And Biden's interview is the latest in a series of events, rallies, and interviews he has done since his debate with former President Trump on June 27th.
It is still unclear why a gunman opened fire at former President Donald Trump at the rally Saturday, but we do have more information now about that shooting.
Yeah, one victim and the shooter are dead as a result. 2 people stable after sustaining serious injuries, and Trump has a wounded ear. Amy Kiley shows us what people close to the shooter have revealed and new details about the scary close call of the Secret Service.
In high school, he was never the type that I would have to worry about.
New details are emerging about the suspect in the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Law enforcement sources say investigators haven't found evidence suggesting a political or ideological motive. That's despite breaking into the suspect's phone, searching his room, and interviewing people who knew him.
I was shocked because knowing that he lived so close to me, that he did something like that, it's shocking.
Meanwhile,
we're going to continue to be transparent and communicate with people.
The Secret Service director says local police were in the building when the suspect fired from its roof. A source with knowledge of the matter says they were snipers. The Fraternal Order of Police president calls officers at the event heroes. He blames, quote, the management or command level for Trump getting shot in the ear.
The buck stops with me. I am the director of the Secret Service. It was unacceptable, and it's something that shouldn't happen again.
Former White House physician Ronnie Jackson says he examined Trump and thinks he can heal without surgery. Eric Trump describes learning his father was otherwise okay.
He cracked a little joke, and I knew, the Donald Trump I know, the father I know is back.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Still more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, a town council campaign, how long you have left to apply for town council in Bethany Beach, and when locals will vote on those candidates.
Also, Summer League sizzles, key games in the final of this high school hoop exhibition.
And bucks for the Bay. We're telling you the new funding coming to the Chesapeake Bay and what environmental projects there will focus on. Stick with us on Coast TV News Today.
Elevate your business and engage more customers with Draper Media. Our diverse network of media properties such as WBOC, CoastTV, 93.5 The Beach, and 102.5 WBOC reaches over 500,000 Delmarva residents across various channels like television, radio, social media, and digital platforms. Enhance your brand's visibility across the Delmarva region with Draper Media. Our passionate team of media specialists and content creators are dedicated to showcasing your brand through engaging commercials, dynamic drone footage, eye-catching graphic and web design, and social media branding. Share your brand story on our popular programs, capturing the attention of your target audience. Trust your brand with Draper Media, a family-oriented company serving the Delmarva community. Contact Frank Hamilton today at fhamilton@wboc.com to get started. What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable power plant, smart pressure sensor, and custom nozzles. It's like the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Get your complete Bullseye Pro inflation system for just $79.99 and get free shipping. Plus, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. Order now.
Welcome to the party. We all make this show together. You guys, this is our show. You just never know who you're gonna meet here. You can feel the energy in this room. Every single person needs to be included in these conversations. Let's do this! Let's make everyone's day a little brighter.
Drew Barrymore, weekdays at noon on CoastTV.
It is 6:42 on this hazy start to our Tuesday. You can see that on our Tyndall's Casual Furniture camera. 79 already in Laurel. It's already steamy out there, and it's just about to get hotter as well. And as looking at our advisories and warnings, excessive heat warning for inland Sussex County, and this goes until Wednesday evening. Right along the immediate coast, it's a heat advisory because your heat feels like temperatures will be just a little lower there. I'm not seeing anything right along the immediate coast of Maryland, but inland you have a heat advisory, and then that transitions to an excessive heat warning across the rest of the eastern shore. 70s and low 80s right now, already feeling like close to 90 in Millsboro, mid to upper 80s elsewhere. So your golf forecast, you know, personally, I would not golf in this kind of weather today. I love golf, but man, it's going to be hot. 98 feels like temperatures 101 to 111. If you are venturing out there, make sure you have a lot of water. Call the CoastTV First Alert weather phone. You see the number there. It's sponsored by Bear Mandalis, Brockstead, and Federico.
All right, Bob, thank you. Fenwick Town Council recently voted to approve the fiscal year 2025 budget. Town says there are no property tax increases in this plan. The budget projects $2.35 million of general cash reserves to be had as of July 31st, 2025. Single largest use of cash in the budget, $2.1 million for the upcoming dredging project.
In Maryland, a new round of taxpayer money is headed toward the Chesapeake Bay. The Maryland Department of Natural Resources awarding $35.8 million from the Chesapeake and Atlantic Coastal Base Trust Fund to 34 ecological restoration projects. The state says the projects were selected to improve water quality and habitat in the Chesapeake Bay watershed, while also building local resilience to climate impacts.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
We are 1 week away from postseason basketball returning to the peninsula. Over in Worcester County, the Maryland Supreme Summer League rolled on last night with squads aiming for a postseason berth. It's the Cats from Delmar and the Hilltoppers from Snow Hill delivering a classic. Fast forward to 2 minutes left. Cats down one, but that won't last long. Dustin Peterson splashes one in from the corner. That puts the Cats back out in front. 1:15 to go. 38-36 Cats. Hilltoppers working on the outside. They get it to Fox Birch, who buries the jumper, all tied at 38. 40 ticks left. Cats inbounding, and they make Peterson play receiver. They throw it up to him, and he gets the job done. Cats up 2. Last chance for Snow Hill. Seconds winding down. Jayden Boulware drives to his right. The floater front rims off right to Birch. Hauls in the board and gets fouled. He's got a chance to tie it up at the line with 2.7 seconds to go. First shot for Birch. No problem. It's now a 1-point game again. Here comes shot number 2 to tie the game. Back rims off, chance for a rebound, but no, there was a lane violation. It wouldn't have mattered. The Cats go on to win it 40-39. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
Here's what's coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. Where do Olympians keep their medals? We talked to a few of them just over a week before the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. And a summer eye emergency. Maybe you forgot your contacts. Or you got an injury while on vacation. Instead of having to wait months to see somebody, we know a place that can see you right away. We have all that and more today at 4 on Coast Life.
We could be looking at the hottest day of the year so far for Delmarva. Hazy start and Seaford temperatures already in the lower 80s. The intense heat continues today with an excessive heat warning for most of Delmarva. Yellow alert for the heat, then a red alert for Wednesday for heat and storms. I'll have your forecast details in 2 minutes.
The Today Show, weekdays at 7 on CoastTV.
Middays with April Brilliant. It's a feel-good show on your radio.
April is the easiest way to get through my workday.
She plays my favorite songs.
She helped me find my furry friend.
She's always making me smile.
Listening to April is the best way to get through my workday.
She makes me feel special.
Middays with April, weekdays from 10 to 3 on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3. Sponsored by Critter Getters.
You need to lose weight, but you hate lugging out that big blender for a healthy shake. Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with my Bionic Blade, the new handheld blender that's rechargeable, so you can make a fast, healthy shake anywhere. Designed like this shake bottle you take to the gym, it has the motor and blades built right into the lid. Bionic Blade quickly creates smooth drinks just like the big blenders. But this is portable, so you can make a shake anywhere. Make pina coladas right by poolside. Even grind coffee beans and make a quick, refreshing iced coffee pick-me-up on the go.
Get the Bionic Blade for just $29.99 and we'll even ship it to you free. But wait, order now and get 2 sipping lids, a second large blender container, plus the sports lid. Yours free. You'll get this entire portable blending system for just $29.99. Call or click now.
To order, call 1-800-709-7148 or go to buybionicblade.com. So call 1-800-709-7148 or you can order online at buybionicblade.com.
Weather brought to you by Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, dedicated to excellence in Delaware and Maryland.
Thank you for calling Coastal Comfort.
This is a complimentary call. A couple of years ago, I had my heat pumps replaced. Last night, I noticed one of them wasn't working right. Somebody was out here within a couple of hours, and it's working perfectly. I was in the service industry for 33 years. Good service is something you can't find today. It very much is appreciated. Your crew is a good crew. Really fine people are professional and they're efficient.
Coastal Comfort, a Carrier factory authorized dealer. Carrier, turn to the experts.
It's now 6:48. Let's take a live look now at Laurel, see what's going on there. We know for sure it's hot. We also now know it's pretty hazy, Bob.
Yeah, I'm going with the 3 H's today, Paige. Hazy, hot, and humid. All of the above. Perhaps the hottest day of the year. Excessive heat warning for the areas shaded in purple. Interior parts of Delaware, excluding the coast. Now, this is excessive heat warning goes until tomorrow evening. Right along the immediate coast, it's a heat advisory until Wednesday evening. Your heat index value is not as bad, but still some places around the triple digits. And even along the Maryland coast, you could be seeing some triple-digit heat indices, while inland much hotter with a heat advisory there. And then for the eastern shore, you also have an excessive heat warning until Wednesday evening. And already 70s and low 80s this morning. A lot of places have not even dropped below the 80-degree mark. And it's already feeling like 88 with the humidity in Millsboro, 84 in Delmar. So you know if it's feeling this hot this early, it is going to be a scorcher. We just have light winds, so that wind is going to be essentially a blowtorch today as we're looking at clear skies. It's just very hot conditions expected for today, and we're looking at clear skies all across the mid-Atlantic region. Some clouds back to the west. There is a trough across the Midwest with showers and storms here, and eventually that will work its way in as we go into tomorrow, giving us storms tomorrow evening and then essentially ending the heat wave. But this is the heart of the heat wave today. Temperatures quickly rising through the 80s mid-morning, and by noon already into the mid-90s, and even some 90s along the coast. Could be 99 in Lewis at 3 o'clock. Holy cow. SoCal, 93 in Bethany Beach and upper 90s. So just stay in air conditioning if you can. And even at 6 o'clock, we're still well into the 90s inland areas. And even by 11:30, we're still into the mid 80s. So it's going to be a slow decline in those temperatures tonight. And many of us do not drop below 80 degrees tomorrow morning. And then it's back into the mid 90s tomorrow. Not as hot as today. The winds pick up and here come the showers and storms with the cold front. I think the biggest hazard with this could be damaging winds. So make sure those outdoor items are secured later tomorrow afternoon and evening, and maybe some heavy rain with these storms as they roll through. Here's 9:30, some heavy rain and gusty winds, but this will end the heat wave as temperatures fall into the 70s Thursday morning. We're back into the 80s on Thursday, but the humidity will be lower and so will the temperatures, but not today. It feels like temperatures 105 to 110 and maybe eclipsing 110. Those feels like temperatures tomorrow and even along the coast as well. Severe weather threat, it's a level 1 and 2 risk, a slight risk eastern shore and northern central parts of Delaware. That's where we could see that damaging wind threat and then a lower threat farther to the south. So it's hot the next couple of days, obviously, and then a code red tomorrow for heat and storms, 95, and then mid 80s Thursday into the weekend. Storms Thursday, dry Friday and Saturday, another storm chance on Sunday.
We have a deadline approaching in Bethany Beach of an upcoming election. Interested locals can file as a town council candidate. They have until July 24th to do so. And you must submit a written application to the town manager's office no later than 4:30 p.m. that day. The town election scheduled for September 7th.
All right, it is now 6:52. We're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Love this one. Today's coastal pet of the day is a pet near and dear to the Coast TV News family. Our newest First Alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobono, shared this picture of his nephew, Loki, a.k.a. Mr. Chumps. It's a great-looking picture there, and we want to see more of your pets down Delmarva. Send us photos. Tell us what makes them so special. Take a look at your screen. Paige, I think I read your read.
That's okay. I'll read yours. Yeah, just scan that QR code, and you can send us pictures of your pets. And I like saying this part. Watch weekdays 5 to 7 to see all the pets we feature.
And it's a warm one out there. Rehoboth, 81 degrees already. A scorcher today as the intense heat continues the next couple of days. Then storms later Wednesday, possibly severe. Then finally a sustained cool down. Your 10-day forecast is coming up next.
It's not just winning, it's about changing their lives.
You believe in dreams? That stage is where dreams come true.
It was incredible. You are a star.
AGT, tonight on NBC and Peacock.
Tonight, the Republican Party rallies around former President Trump as he lays out his vision for the country. Join Lester Holt, Savannah Guthrie, and the NBC News team for special coverage of the Republican National Convention. Tonight on NBC.
Get ready for the adventure of a lifetime with summer savings at Gateway Subaru. Right now, save up to $3,300 on a new 2024 Subaru Outback. Plus, take advantage of great financing rates as low as 0% for 48 months. At Gateway Subaru, we're committed to higher standards, ensuring every journey starts with trust and excellence. Stop by and discover the thrill of the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. Designed for the bold, ready for any adventure. Gateway Subaru, just minutes from the beaches in the heart of Delmarva. Higher standards.
Welcome to Fisherman's Wharf in Lewis, Delaware, where the bay meets the Atlantic Ocean. Get away from the crowd and escape on an adventure in our fleet. With daily fishing trips, evening cruises, and the awesome experience of dolphin watching and even whales. Who knows what the sea holds? With 3 generations in the business, we assure you that your experience will be unique, a story to tell. Come down with the whole family, set sail and spot a whale. So what are you waiting for? Book your trip now at fishlewis.com. Ahoy!
Come out on Saturday, July 20th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Shops at Salisbury for the Wheels That Heal Cruise In for a Cause, benefiting Salisbury Police Department's National Night Out. All vehicles and motorcycles are welcome. Enjoy great music, delicious food, and exciting activities like a 50-50 raffle and a silent auction. Backpack donations and other back-to-school items are appreciated to support this wonderful cause. Coast Country Cares, sponsored by Spicer Brothers.
I can't wait to get to work.
I'm so glad you said that.
Oh, let's get you ready for ball. 1 lap for each vowel.
You weren't kidding. This is great for the biceps. This is not what I had in mind when you asked me to carpool.
It's a big win. Let's do it.
Yes, I'm ready.
Ryan Seacrest joins Vanna White this fall on Wheel of Fortune.
I'm ready.
Wheel of Fortune on CoastTV.
It's now 6:55. It's time for some things you need to know before you go. More than 100 million people are under heat alerts across the U.S. The Weather Prediction Center forecasts near record temperatures and high humidity for parts of the east today. In Baltimore, feels like temperatures could reach up to 112 degrees.
Monday night on Coast TV News, President Joe Biden sat down with Lester Holt for a one-on-one, unedited interview. The president defended his decision to remain in the presidential race. The interview touched on a number of subjects, from his confidence in the Secret Service and the dismissal of charges against former President Trump in his classified documents case.
A controversial policy at the Milford School District's been tabled indefinitely after a meeting Monday. According to the school board, Policy 6103 aimed to keep classrooms free of things that could create an offensive, hostile, or intimidating learning environment. The ACLU Delaware, however, saying that violates the First Amendment rights of students and staff. Board member Dr. Adam Brownstein said the plan does not censor speech, but the ACLU was concerned, at least in part, with vague language and how rules could be interpreted differently by different administrations. All right, it is now 6:56. A quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we got one final check with First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey.
Guess what, guys? I don't know if you knew this, but it's going to be really hot today. Really hot. Could be the hottest day of the year. Excessive heat warning for today. Inland areas, even as we go into Wednesday evening, in a heat advisory right along the coast. We're looking at temperatures today quickly rising through the 80s into the mid to upper 90s later on. There will be a breeze, but it will be a hot breeze. Feels like temperatures maybe as high as 110. And even along the coast, we're looking at triple-digit feels like temperatures. So really take it slow out there. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Code red for Wednesday for heat and storms. 95 the high, so not as hot, but storms later in the day. Maybe some with damaging winds. Then we cool off. Some storms early Thursday, 85, and then mid-80s right through the weekend. Dry Friday, some more clouds Saturday, a few storms Sunday, and then it looks like we still stay in the 80s next week with on and off showers and storms.
All right, Bob, thank you, and thank you all for joining us on Coast TV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
And we'll be back with Coast TV Midday at 11. Stick around.
Until then, have a great Tuesday morning, everybody.